So I'm a Belfast boy, born here in the 1970s, growing up in the 1980s through some of the darkest days of the city. You know, I grew up in days of bomb scares and just all of this horrific stuff that I never quite understood because I was born after it. You know, after it began, and I never really properly understood what it was all about. I just knew that it was horrible and I wanted out of it. And I had this sense when I was growing up that probably as soon as I was able, I would want to leave Belfast and go somewhere a little bit brighter. While I was growing up, I'm from a church family. We went to the local Church of Ireland, and the curate, a guy called Jeremy, I suppose would be one of the main influences of my teenage years. Not through anything amazing or spectacular that he did, but just by showing me this faith in action, I suppose. I went to college, as I say, still probably expecting that I would leave Belfast someday, but after training for the church and then becoming a minister and doing 10 years, very, very happy years as a kind of regular parish minister, I had a little bit of a sort of eureka moment one day. Well, there was a couple of eureka moments. The first was that I went to the Bishop Harold, who always says that ministers who have a sense that they're maybe ready for the next challenge should come and talk to him. He just said, or you know, you could do something completely mad, like we're thinking of starting a church on a boat down in the new Titanic quarter. And it was like those cartoons when the light bulb goes on above someone's head. That was just as soon as he said that idea, I was like, oh, just let me at it. And then I came down to visit the Titanic quarter, still at that stage, pretty much just a wasteland, a building site. And so somebody said to me right at the beginning, you know, you've been given the best blank page that the church has had in Ireland since St. Patrick stepped off the boat. And there was that kind of excitement to it, that whatever we wanted to do or whatever could be dreamt up or prayed into existence down here, we had a blank page and a sort of free permission to start from scratch. And I actually, for that first year, went round with a little backpack full of blank pages, and I used to sit with people, just have a cup of coffee together, get to know them for the first time, and get out the blank page and set it down and say, what could the church be? What would be good news? An offer that Titanic Quarter made to us at the start of 2012, that one of the empty shop units at the base of the apartment blocks, they would allow us to use it for a kind of peppercorn rent. It was called a meanwhile lease, the idea that we could use the unit until a commercial tenant came along, and that was just, you know, talk about an answer to prayer more than we could ask or imagine. You know, if you could see the wee pokey, rusty, grotty, smelly old boats that we've been looking at, and then to see this huge big space, another blank page, another empty space that we were just handed and allowed to move in and start using it. And so that was the start of Docks Café, and we were open by March 2012, just in time for the big Titanic anniversary. All the contacts that we had made during those days when it just looked so scrappy and informal and unfocused, actually they all helped us. I still think it became the first community event of the Titanic Quarter, the first time that the residents, students, businesses, all the people here joined together to do something together. And what they joined together to do was to donate old bits of furniture and mugs and plates and sofas and whatever they had, so that we could fill this big empty concrete space and open the cafe in time for the Titanic anniversary. The way that it's worked since the cafe opened, because we're here on a peppercorn rent, it's important for us not to come across as a business, and so we actually came up with this idea of opening the cafe as an honesty box cafe. So that speaks to them somehow of the grace of God, and so that has been the thing more than anything else, which has allowed us, while we've been here, to start conversations about the things of God, as well as all the other conversations about Titanic and the Belfast weather and all of the other things that you can chat about over a cup of coffee in here. It's been fantastic to see the way that God has worked through that simple thing of trusting people to pay something appropriate into the honesty box. I love the Titanic Quarter Limited strapline, is this little tagline they have, where once we built ships, today we build communities. Now I actually think that it's the church that can fulfill that vision. A development corporation can put up apartment blocks and office blocks and visitor attractions, but the church working here day by day over cups of coffee and conversations, that's actually when that strapline becomes reality. So where once we built ships, today we build community. That is what we're all about.